Welcome back to the deep dive. It's funny how sometimes the absolute smallest detail, maybe on something you use every day, can actually tell the biggest stories.
Mm,
Like a tiny crack or a slight curve or, well, in our case today, what looks like a really minor design change on a phone case.
right.
But it's kind of whispering secrets about these huge shifts in technology.
It really is.
So today, we're grabbing that tiny detail and we're going to blow it wide open. We're talking about a leaked blueprint, really just a simple phone case,
Hmm.
but it seems to be revealing a giant leap in mobile filmmaking.
Yeah.
You might just think, oh, it's just another camera bump, but this is where it gets really interesting.
It absolutely does. What's really fascinating, I think, is how a design choice like this, something usually hidden away until the launch, can basically act as a blueprint
A blueprint.
for a whole technological direction. And it kind of begs the question, doesn't it? What does this shift actually mean for, regular people taking photos, but also for serious filmmakers?
That's exactly what we want to unpack for you today. We're diving deep into this, well, seemingly minor change on a phone. We're all waiting for the leaked camera bar for the new iPhone 17 Pro.
Right.
Our mission on this deep dive is to figure out what this leak really tells us about where mobile video is going and how Apple's vision fits into the bigger picture of filmmaking tech.
It's a big picture.
It is. We've been digging through reports, mostly from Y.M.CINEMA magazine that did a great deep dive on this leak, but also looking at related patents, other news from the filmmaking world.
Hmm.
We're trying to pull out the key insights to show how this one little design tweak hints at Apple's big ambition, turning your phone into, well, a pro cinema tool.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it, that just one image, essentially an outline for a case, can give us such a detailed look
Yeah.
into the strategy behind a product that's, what, months away still?
It's like finding an old map
Exactly.
that somehow shows the future.
Yeah, the contours of a future landscape. It's wild.
Okay, so let's start with this leaked blueprint itself. Unpacking the iPhone 17 Pro camera bar. First things first. How reliable are these kinds of leaks? There's so much speculation online.
That's a really important question. So the source here is Dbrand's tank case.
Okay, Dbrand, I know them. Tough cases.
Exactly. And these aren't just like fan renders someone cooked up. These cases, they're built using official schematics.
Official. Where do they get those?
Straight from supply chain sources. You have to think about it. Case makers like Dbrand, they need exact dimensions, down to fractions of a millimeter.
Right, otherwise the case just doesn't fit.
Precisely. If their cases don't fit, they lose money. So because they need that accuracy for their business, these kinds of leaks are often remarkably spot on. It's based on actual manufacturing needs, not just guesses.
So, okay, this isn't just some random internet rumor. It's coming from people whose whole business depends on getting these measurements right. That adds a lot of weight.
It really does.
So what are we actually seeing in this leak? What's the visible difference that's got people talking?
Well, if you look closely at the images, it's subtle, but it's also like profoundly significant compared to the last few iPhones.
Okay.
Instead of that familiar square block in the corner for the camera,
Yeah, the square bump.
right, the cutout for the cameras now stretches horizontally, right across the top of the phone.
The whole top.
The whole top. It's a totally different physical layout.
Wow. Okay. A horizontal bar across the top instead of the corner square. But like you said, this isn't just about looks, is it? There must be an engineering reason.
Oh, absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head there. It's not just a cosmetic tweak. It's a really strategic engineering decision.
Mm.
And it unlocks some pretty profound capabilities.
How so?
This kind of horizontal layout,
Mm-hmm.
it points to a fundamental rethink of how they're arranging the components inside. It's all about making space
Making space. For what?
for more advanced camera tech.
That-
Tech that, honestly, probably wouldn't fit, or at least wouldn't work as well, in that old compact corner setup.
That makes total sense. Okay, so let's dig into that. Beyond the aesthetics, what technical innovations is this new design actually driving? You said it's about space. What are they putting in there?
Well, the main rumor, the one generating a lot of buzz, suggests a major upgrade.
Okay.
It sounds like all three cameras in the iPhone 17 Pro might get larger 48-megapixel sensors.
All three. Wow. Because usually the ultra-wide and telephoto are smaller, right?
Exactly. That's the big leap. Bringing that high resolution, that sensor size, to all the lenses, not just the main one.
Okay, 48 megapixels across the board. Sounds impressive on paper. But for you, the listener, holding this phone, what difference does that actually make to your photos and videos?
For you, it translates directly into just better image quality
Yeah.
across all the different zoom levels.
How?
While bigger sensors capture way more light, significantly more.
Ah, okay. Light is key.
It's everything in photography. So that means
Mm.
better dynamic range. You'll see more detail in the really bright parts and the really dark parts of your picture at the same time.
No more blown out skies or crushed shadows, hopefully.
Less of that, definitely.
Yeah.
And crucially, it dramatically improves how it performs in low light.
Okay, that's huge for most people.
Yeah. It means less noise, more clarity when you're shooting indoors, at night, concerts, candlelit dinners, whatever.
So, a real noticeable improvement for anyone who's ever struggled with tricky lighting. Clearer, richer shots when it's dim. And you're saying this ability, these bigger sensors, it really relies on that horizontal bar.
Precisely. Bigger sensors physically need more room. Simple as that.
Right.
If they kept the old square bump, it would have to get much, much thicker to fit these larger sensors. You'd have this awkward, unbalanced bulge.
Yeah, the camera hump problem gets worse.
Exactly. By stretching the camera bar horizontally across the top, Apple can spread out that footprint. They get the space they need for the bigger components without making the phone weirdly thick in just one corner.
So it stays relatively slim and balanced.
Right, which is important for how it feels in your hand, how it looks, the ergonomics and aesthetics.
That's a pretty smart engineering solution. Avoiding the giant hump while packing in more camera power. Are there any other knock-on effects of spreading things out like that? Maybe limitations or other benefits?
Oh, definitely other benefits. It also looks like it's ushering in a new era for Zoom.
Ah, the periscope.
Exactly. Remember the iPhone 15 Pro Max introduced that folded periscope lens for better telephoto zoom, that 5x optical zoom?
Yeah, but only on the Max model.
All right. The big expectation now for the iPhone 17 Pro is that this advanced periscope system will come to both Pro models.
Oh, interesting. So the regular Pro gets it too.
That's the rumor, making it a standard feature across their high-end line.
Okay, that's great news, making that really good optical zoom more accessible. But how does the horizontal bar help with that? Periscopes are about folding light inside, right?
Yeah, and that's where the horizontal bar becomes crucial. Folded optics, the core of a periscope system, they need physical length inside the phone to work.
Right, to bounce the light.
Exactly. By spreading the whole camera module across the top, Apple gains that necessary internal real estate. They can fit a longer, more complex zoom lens system in there for both Pro models.
So it's about optimizing the internal volume.
Totally. To fit these longer optical paths while still keeping the phone itself slim and feeling balanced in your hand. And the result should be, sharper telephoto shots, maybe even longer optical zoom reach for everyone who buys a Pro model.
So what's really interesting here is that truly advanced optical zoom could become standard on the Pro line. That's a game changer for how you frame distant things, getting details from afar, or even getting that nice background compression for portraits.
Absolutely. It empowers you visually, lets you tell different kinds of stories.
It really pushes it further into that professional territory.
No doubt. It's not just one feature, it's the whole optical package getting a serious upgrade.
Okay, so beyond the sensors and the zoom tech, are there other, maybe more practical benefits to this wider horizontal design? Stuff a filmmaker or even just a serious hobbyist might really appreciate.
Yes, definitely. There are a couple of practical things that often get overlooked but are actually quite important.
Like what?
Spreading those heat-generating components out across the top should significantly improve heat dissipation.
Cooling.
Yes, which is vital if you're doing heavy video recording,
Hmm.
especially like long takes in 4K ProRes or something.
Oh, yeah. Phones getting hot and shutting down during video is a real problem.
It absolutely is. So better cooling means preventing overheating, ensuring the phone performs consistently over longer shoots. That's reliability.
That's huge. I've definitely been there, phone lagging or quitting on a critical take on a hot day. So this isn't just about specs on a page, it's about reliability under pressure. That sounds very professional.
A hallmark of pro gear, isn't it? Reliability. And there's another subtle thing, but really significant.
Okay.
The phone will sit flatter on a table.
Oh. You mean no more rocking on the camera bump?
Exactly. That annoying wobble when you put it down flat, maybe try to type on it, or even just frame a low-angle shot.
Yeah, that drives me crazy.
The wider bar provides a much more stable base. And that's actually a big deal for filmmakers using mini tripods or gimbals that require balancing, or even just setting it down quickly for a stable shot. Stability is everything.
So it's not just what the camera does, but how the phone feels and performs when you're really pushing it. No wobble, better cooling. That feels like a deliberate professional design choice. Shows Apple's really serious about this pro video push.
It really does seem that way. Beyond just the hardware in this phone, you can see a clear strategic direction from Apple towards making the iPhone a genuine, production-ready tool.
How so? What else points to that?
Well, look at some recent patent developments. They really highlight this focus. For instance, there's one called the Apple Triple Patent iPhone Sensor Shift System.
Sensor shift, like in mirrorless cameras.
Exactly. It details really advanced stabilization methods. The goal seems to be achieving cinema-grade smoothness, even when you're shooting handheld and moving around, moving the sensor itself to counteract shakes.
Cinema-grade smoothness from a phone. That's a bold claim. How would that compare to using, say, a gimbal?
Well, it aims to address the limits of current optical stabilization, which struggles with bigger movements. These patents suggest a system that can handle more aggressive shakes, more jitter.
Okay.
It probably won't entirely replace a gimbal for super complex tracking shots, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is to make handheld footage surprisingly usable for pro-looking sequences, especially for, run and gun stuff, documentaries, indie films, where extra gear isn't always practical.
That sounds incredibly useful. And then there's another patent, something like Apple iPhone patents reveal cinema camera technology. That sounds even bigger.
Yeah, that was really interesting. It shows Apple exploring how to integrate actual pro-level camera mechanics into a phone.
Mechanics? Like what?
Things like physical filter systems, maybe ND filters built in, or more robust lens attachments, even tougher sensor protection.
Yeah.
It's thinking about the whole ecosystem. So, taken together, these innovations suggest the iPhone 17 Pro isn't just getting a better camera. It feels like it's being designed with a whole filmmaking workflow in mind, really trying to elevate mobile video into a proper production tool.
It's fascinating how far they're trying to push the smartphone boundary into professional territory. These patents, they don't sound like small tweaks. They sound like fundamental shifts in stabilization, in mechanics, stuff you normally find in much bigger, dedicated cameras.
Right.
It really does sound like Apple isn't just making a phone with a great camera anymore. They're designing a cinema device that just happens to fit in your pocket.
Yeah.
The potential impact for independent filmmakers, creators on a budget, it's just huge.
It really democratizes access, doesn't it?
Right.
Puts incredibly powerful tools into more hands, lets more people tell their stories with high production value.
Speaking of powerful tools and access, how does all this fit into the wider world of filmmaking? Mobile is clearly rocketing forward, but what else is going on out there? Where does the iPhone fit in?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because the landscape is incredibly diverse and dynamic right now.
Yeah.
I mean, while we're excited about the iPhone 17 Pro, it's worth pointing out that its predecessor, the 16 Pro Max, it's already being called a filmmaker's dream deal for people who don't want to wait.
Oh yeah, how so?
You can apparently get it refurbished on Amazon for around $1,000, and that gets you the 48 MP Pro camera ProRes video.
ProRes is huge for editing.
Huge for post-production. Much more data, better quality for color grading. So even last year's tech is incredibly capable and pretty accessible now.
That's a fantastic way for aspiring creators to get started. Shows you don't always need the absolute bleeding edge to make pro-looking stuff.
Absolutely.
But okay, the rest of the industry isn't just waiting around either, right? Like, I saw that Dune Part 3 is actually going to be shot on film.
Yeah, actual celluloid for that specific organic look.
Which really highlights that even as phones get amazing, there's still a strong pull towards traditional methods for certain artistic visions.
It's an excellent point. Shooting on film like that, it's not just nostalgia. It's about a distinct texture, grain structure, how it handles highlights, things cinematographers still value. It needs a different workflow, different budget.
Totally different.
But for some projects, it's irreplaceable. And that contrast helps us see where mobile fits. It's one tool among many.
And then at the super high end of digital cinema, Sony Venus seems to be dominating things like the Emmys.
Yeah, Sony Venice Rules seems to be the headline. It's a testament to that full-frame sensor, the dynamic range, the color science. It's become a benchmark.
Right. And interestingly, DJI's Ronin 4D also made a splash. That integrated camera and gimbal thing.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise winner in some categories.
Yeah.
Shows how even at the high end, they're innovating with integrated systems, merging camera, and motion control.
But those are like tens of thousands of dollars?
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Just for the body sometimes.
Yeah.
And they help us see how far mobile still has to go in some respects.
Oh.
Or maybe how impressively it's closing the gap for certain uses.
Yeah.
Those high-end cameras give you control. Sensor sizes, connections, they're still way beyond a phone. But the iPhone is definitely like nibbling at the edges of what's possible handheld.
And then you've got companies innovating at the component level, right? Like Canon quietly re-engineers the Pixel for their large sensors.
Exactly. Improving quality right at the source. And Blackmagic, publishing the readout speeds for their big URSA Sine 12K and PYXIS 6K cameras.
Pushing the limits of resolution and workflow for that pro market.
It just shows. While mobile's advancing like crazy, the whole industry is incredibly diverse. You've got film for Dune's aesthetic, specialized large sensors from Canon and Blackmagic. There's really a tool for every vision, every budget.
Right.
And the iPhone is carving out its own space within that. An increasingly professional space, but still part of a wider spectrum. It's not replacing everything, but it's offering this super powerful, super accessible alternative.
And even on the more affordable or niche side, there's tons happening, like that TikTok large sensor streaming camera, the Yellowcam S7 dropping in price.
Yeah, making that kind of streaming quality more accessible.
And the Blackmagic Pocket 6K G2 hitting its lowest price ever. Another pro tool becoming reachable for indie creators.
It's really.
Plus affordable drones for young filmmakers, even fun retro stuff like Kodak's $50 Ektar H35 film camera. The variety is just kind of amazing.
It really demonstrates that the definition of a filmmaking tool is just constantly expanding. High-budget studio, indie filmmaker, vlogger, just someone capturing family moments.
Yeah.
The options are richer than ever. It's about finding the right tool for your story.
So what does this all boil down to for you listening right now? Whether you're shooting, I don't know, your kid's soccer game or your next short film, or just trying to nail that perfect vacation shot, it means you're getting access. Access to professional-grade tools that honestly were unimaginable in a smartphone just a few years ago. It's a pretty exciting time to be a creator, whatever your level, because those barriers to high-quality visuals are just falling away.
Indeed. The tech is really converging to empower more storytelling, putting incredible power right into more people's hands.
So as we wrap up today's deep dive, let's just quickly recap the main thread here. A single, seemingly tiny case leak for the iPhone 17 Pro. It's actually revealed a pretty major shift in Apple's strategy.
Yeah.
It points strongly towards bigger sensors, better zoom, really advanced video features, a clear path to making the iPhone a true production-ready cinema device. It just shows how one small detail can signal this huge leap forward.
It really feels like a strategic play. To keep elevating mobile cinematography, positioning the iPhone not just as a great consumer device, but as a serious player in the pro filmmaking toolkit.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to chew on. As smartphones like this upcoming iPhone 17 Pro keep integrating pro-level camera tech, and as we see all these other affordable, high-quality options emerging, how much longer until that line between a dedicated cinema camera and a high-end smartphone becomes, well, functionally irrelevant, at least for a big chunk of filmmaking? And maybe more importantly, what amazing new stories are going to be told when powerful, nearly cinema-grade cameras are truly in everyone's pocket, when the main limit isn't the gear, but just imagination.
It points to a future where creativity is hopefully limited less by access to the tools and much more by imagination itself, really pushing the boundaries of what we even think of as filmmaking.
Absolutely. Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on the Depth Dive.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next time.